Did you know that more than 12,000 years ago, the Sahara was once a forest with a diverse and extremely rich ecosystem? But with climate change, this lush forest turned into a prairie and then a desert. Archaeologists have found many pieces of evidence proving that this is true. Today, the desert occupies 9 million square kilometers of Earth's surface area and continues to expand. Luckily, humanity has found ways to revive this dead land. But have you ever wondered what would happen if the entire Sahara Desert were to be turned green again? What kind of miracle would it bring to nature and humanity? Or would it become a disaster that we did not foresee? This is the hypothesis of desert revival. Well, there is a lot of work to be done here, but we must start. To begin, we need to make specific calculations for the vast green Sahara forest with endless rows of trees stretching on and connecting. The current area of the Sahara is 9 million square kilometers. So if we set up a non-profit organization with 1,000 people participating in the Sahara Revival Project, we would plant one tree for every 10 square meters. Therefore, the total number of trees we need to plant is 900 billion trees, a massive number that seems unrealistic. Now let's continue calculating for our project. If each person in the group can withstand the heat and work for 6 hours a day with no days off and can plant one tree every 5 minutes, it would take more than 34 years to completely green the Sahara. However, in reality, this number could be much higher. We have discussed the number of trees that need to be planted and the time it would take for this grand project. However, don't forget, for these trees to survive, they need to be watered. So how much water would this enormous amount of trees require? First, it's no coincidence that the Sahara, once a forest with a wonderful ecosystem, turned into a desert. It has been lacking water for a long time. So if we plant trees in the desert, the types of trees typically found in the Amazon rainforest would be one of the worst options. We need tree species that can tolerate drought, requiring just a little water to sustain life. So which species can they be? First, one of the symbols of life, baobab tree, Adansonia. The baobab, also known as the tree of life, is a famous species in Africa that can live in extremely arid desert regions. This tree has a very large trunk that stores water to sustain life for long periods without needing additional water. Additionally, we can mention moringa tree, Moringa oleifera, acacia tree, cactus, Cactaceae. These tree species share a common trait of being highly drought tolerant, requiring only 300 to 400 millimeters of water per year on average. So we will need 360 billion cubic meters of water. However, we cannot just plant drought-tolerant species to create a diverse ecosystem like the one Sahara had 12,000 years ago. We will need more than that. Therefore, considering the diversity of plant species and taking into account the idea of interplanting forest and agricultural land to sustain the lives of local communities, the figure of 360 billion cubic meters of water might be just a small estimate. Immediately, we can see the next issue, running a water supply system. Water has always been the starting point and the issue. Where can we get water to irrigate an entire forest? First choice, underground water from within the Sahara. It is estimated that the underground water systems could reach about 150 billion cubic meters. However, these water sources are mainly ancient groundwater, which is not replenished continuously by rain, so extracting from them for an extended period may lead to depletion. Therefore, this option seems unfeasible. The second choice is seawater. I know seawater is very salty and cannot be used to irrigate plants. but it is abundant. And today we have systems that filter salt from seawater around the world. Therefore, this option seems more feasible. Now let's start operating this system. First, energy for operation, electricity. Any complex system that needs to operate requires energy. I will not use fossil fuels to generate energy. 100% is the goal, because they would consume a huge amount, leading to resource depletion elsewhere and creating more carbon emissions, which would make the Sahara revival effort meaningless from the start. In the desert, we may lack water, but the sun will compensate for this deficit. A huge solar power system will be installed. Installing this now seems quite easy, but we will need to hire workers to maintain and ensure the solar panels are not covered by sand due to wind. If thousands or even millions of solar panels are successfully installed and run, we have solved the energy issue. At the same time, a huge cost of billions of dollars per year will begin to arise. Next, the seawater desalination system. This is probably the most feasible idea from the start of the video, because for a long time, humans have been able to separate salt from seawater using distillation methods. Therefore, with the advancement of science, we now have modern water filtration systems with much greater capacity. However, the downside of most seawater desalination methods is that they consume a lot of energy due to the heat loss involved. We will need to build a lot of infrastructure, and people will be required to maintain and operate them continuously. This will also require a significant amount of money. We will need the generosity of many wealthy nations, and perhaps even use funds from billionaires around the world, of course, with their generosity. So, you're not planning to build this filtration system in the middle of the desert, are you? Of course not. We will have to install it near the sea, but we need to irrigate the Sahara forest. Therefore, we need to transport water inland. A pipeline system could be the most suitable option for this case. For now, we cannot dig a reservoir to store water here, because a temperature would cause billions of dollars to evaporate in an instant. We will store water in giant water tanks, ensuring that no dollar is lost to evaporation. So this could work for now. And you know, I can instantly imagine the trillions of dollars we will have to spend. We haven't even accounted for the salaries of many people to operate the system and countless other tasks, such as purchasing and planting trees. This requires a lot of effort from most countries around the world. So clearly this effort must bring far greater benefits than the costs we've put in. Another massive green lung will be created, providing oxygen and absorbing CO2. It will help regulate the global climate, reclaim land, expand agricultural areas, improve global food security, or enhance the local people's living standards. These are the things we can think of. In addition, there are countless other immense benefits. But does greening the Sahara Desert really only have positive effects? Unfortunately, the answer is no. In our opinion, the revival of the Sahara Desert could lead to the death of another area that most people probably know, the Amazon rainforest. Located on two different continents with a distance of over 4,000 miles from each other, they are closely connected. The sand in the Sahara Desert is not just ordinary sand, as you might think. Scientists have calculated that about 22,000 tons of phosphorus are gifted by the Sahara to the Amazon every year through sandstorms and winds. Phosphorus is also an essential element for plant growth. So in the end, all the efforts to revive the Sahara might bring about the death of the Amazon. This may be the biggest impact, and there is also a further consequence, which is marine life. Phosphorus and iron found in Sahara sand are involved in maintaining life under the ocean. If the Sahara forest really becomes a forest, the soil will become compacted, and nutrients will no longer be shared with the ocean. These marine species will severely decrease in numbers, and at worst, they could become extinct. As you can see, reviving the Sahara may bring many benefits, but it also comes with serious negative consequences. So from an individual perspective, I think we should rehabilitate part of the Sahara and maintain the protection of the Amazon, find effective alternative energy sources to reduce carbon emissions, and do hundreds of other things that can be done. This is my hypothesis. Do you know anything else about this hypothesis? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and see you in next video.